Can you feel it? Can
Yeah.
you hear it?
Can we feel the heat? Yes.
Coming to you live from beautiful downtown Athens, Georgia. It is time for another Linux filled romp and fun land. Weekly dailies Wednesdays. I gotta get that, man. That does not flow off the tongue at all.
It doesn't.
We could all thank one Jordan Spag for that wonderful, intelligent naming convention that we use each and every week. How's everybody doing?
Oh, hi Arthur. Hi Mir. Hi Steve Husband.
We were discussing in the pre-super shows and a couple of things. I was talking about accidental collectibles, just like random things that we've held on to over the years, and why I don't show them off at all, because every time I do, I don't like the
everyone wants
deluge
it.
of like people like, let me buy that from you, and it's always tempting offers too. It's like, well, I'll give you $600. Like, no, it's not worth it. Whatever.
No.
And thanks to a late night communication development fest between Strider and Empty, a box has been checked after 2 weeks on the bot, so it works.
Yay.
We have like Vogon bureaucracy when it comes to pushing the paperwork through to get something changed on the bots, apparently. Because apparently there's a PR request that's over a year old.
Okay.
But yes, communication has been restored between Discord and Twitch, and it's bidirectional. It works. It's in your face.
Yay.
And we can make the things happen.
Alex Sipes just got booped by Steve Husband. Very good.
Oh. See, you know what? I would have done that out of principle. I mean, good on you, Steve.
Yeah.
You could get a notification from Twitch, or you could set a notification for 3 p.m. Eastern time, or noon Pacific, because I think he is in
he's here in Cali. Yeah.
Let's pull that down. There we go. That is put together. What are we talking about? Improving GNOME today. Ubuntu Unity is back.
Woohoo.
Linux Teams. Microsoft has made a new fantastic update because they love Linux so much. And Radio Pi, but it's not what it says on the tin. When you think Radio Pi, you're thinking about something completely different.
Yeah. Definitely.
There we go. And I was talking about, let's bring back green PCBs for motherboards.
Yeah.
I posted probably about an hour ago in our Discord about the new pricing. We got some pricing numbers.
Yeah.
For the 7000 series MSIs. And the cheap boy, the basic boy, is going to run you just under $300.
Yeah, I was a little surprised. I thought it would be like $150 for the lowest end one.
That's a weird feel, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right? So that kind of thrown off, like looking at that. Oh, but hey, welcome back to the top tier non-HEDT motherboard costing over $1,000. Yeah. Yeah. You can brag to all your friends that you spent $1,200 on a motherboard that doesn't have quad channel memory support. And I'm looking for...
I like that animation mirror. That's cute. Wake up!
Green PCBs. Steve, not green peas and CBs.
Green PCBs?
You gotta give Steve credit. He tries to participate, and that's what's important. It's the effort I appreciate.
Yeah. Aw.
Let me open that in new tab, and hopefully Jill's power will not go on.
Yeah. I think I will go take my break now.
All right. I'm digging around for images right now.
Yeah, but we've been having brownouts, so my UPS is making ka-chunk noises.
Click, click.
Yep.
What am I looking for? Oh,
aw,
right.
You're not a Luddite, boo. He knows just enough to explain what Linux is to his coworkers and friends. I'll be right back.
How's that look? Maybe this wouldn't be large enough. Let's open that. Okay, we'll go with that. And I gotta load up our last story, which is 2 more links. Let's go ahead and do that. And 1 more. And we will be ready to sit back, relax, and click on some links. Let's click on some links. We gotta take a look at this insanity. This nonsense. Feast our eyes on this. Oh. The very basic, the X670p Wi-Fi, which effectively has a CPU hole in it. That's it. That's all you get, a CPU hole. $289. Step up from that, $479. $699. What is the differences, though? I mean, between $699 and $1299. Envision dashboard. The touchable. Okay. What? This thing's got a monitor on it. Is that where we're at? Is that where, as a society? What? Help me out here. Envision dashboard. Touchable 4.5-inch full-color IPS LCD not only indicates the status, so instead of doing a 2-segment LED for diagnostics, you have a 4.5-inch IPS LCD. Is that worth the extra $600? Maybe? Not? Is the correct answer to that? Extreme power design. 22, 2 and 1 phase, 90 amp. Maximum 6 M2 connectors on board. It's got an exclusive expander on it. So I guess it's got a daughter card type thing. That, it looks pretty maximum expandery. So that'll take up one of your available PCIe holes. That's what really kind of irritates me right there, if I'm going to be honest. MSI is that in order to get 3 PCI Express holes, you gotta spend $699. Everything else is $2. Like if you just get the most basic $289 version, you only get 2 PCI Express holes, man. I'm like, what's up with that? What's up with that? I don't know. Like, I don't know. It's weird times. Let me give that a retweet. There we go. I've done it. And I can't understand it. I thought about it. I looked at it. I'll tell you, okay, on the topic of motherboards, I was a little disappointed. So I'm very much in the mindset of the lead-in process of me spending some money and upgrade Threadripper, which I thought I was going to have to emergency upgrade Threadripper, which I was very cross about for a couple of days. But it turned out I didn't. More on that in a minute, but I was shopping for WRX 80 motherboards. Speaking of motherboards that cost, $700-800. At least you can look at them and be like, okay, I understand. Asus makes one and some other normal, but they're crazy expensive. They're $1,000. It's like, hey, I wonder if our friends over at Supermicro make an EATX WRX 80 motherboard. And I got kind of excited about that because I know I had looked at their Epic motherboards, EATX Epic PCs, and they are hipster as you can get. They're just green PCBs. If you're old enough, you remember those, right? Like that's what your motherboard looked like. It was green, white PCI slots. You had some brown ISA slots. I was kind of excited about that. I'm like, I would totally be down with getting a WRX 80 motherboard with a green PCB. I was like, that'd be tight. I'd be down with that. I didn't even have, I wasn't holding out hope for white or that off-white PCI Express slots, but I was like, I'd be happy with a green PCB. Upside, downside. Upside, Supermicro does make a WRX 80 motherboard. Downside, also it's reasonably priced. Air quotes, let's throw some air quotes around that. It's like $700, but it's like $200 cheaper than the Asus. But it's like dark purple, not even dark purple. What color was it? Might have just been like, that's just a black PCB, not green. Blue green one. Yeah, we were thinking about that. We were talking about that during the pre-show. I was thinking about some of the wackier colors and like I have a red one, which is like a Pentium 3 era Asus like competition overclocking board or something, because it's just got like a bank of dip switches and what do you call them? Jumpers on the back for the hard drives. Those aren't dip switches, were they? I don't know. My brain just pieced out on that. Purple AGP. Now, correct me if I'm right, but I think there's a market for all manufacturers right now to make a throwback retro, just regular green PCB with like white PCI Express slots on it, and people would buy them to make a vintage rig. You know, they'd take their case, they would put some like fake wood paneling on it. It'd be a gorgeous thing. It'd be gorgeous. It'd be beautiful. It'd be a resurgence. Oh, see. Now you're swinging for the sun, man. I think retro enthusiasts would buy it, but I also think they would put RGBs on it too. What we would have to do in that case is make a single tube RGB lamp that looks like a cold cathode tube to put in the bottom and top of the case to simulate black lights. We'd have to really sell it. Don't squeak. Okay. You only have that one squeak in you? Was that it? Is that the best you can do? I expect more from you. Lazy arm. Yeah, Arthur made a note. This is this microphone arm I famously dropped on my foot.
Oh, yes.
The base unit, when I took it out of the package, I clocked it real good, and I'm like, that's lovely. And, but no, this thing's done more damage points to the top of my head over the years than anything else, because it's got this long clamp with a, the vice mechanism where it's just the pole sticking through the rod. I've caught my head on that thing so many times.
Oh.
Like scratch, scratch, scratch. And, not enough to do any permanent damage, but always enough to hurt really, really bad and go, I need to remember that there's that thing, and I never do. It is lovely. All right. So
Poor Van.
That's okay. It's 100% my fault, because all I need to do is go cut off a piece of styrofoam and shove up on it. I'll never do that, though. That's admitting defeat, Jill.
Yeah, I understand.
All right. Let me grab something to drink. And
Okay.
if I come back and Jill's not here, our power went off.
Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah, talking about all the pretty colors of motherboards. Me and Ven were having a discussion about it before we started the show, and in the 90s there was I have one of my motherboards is hot pink. I love that motherboard. It was hard to find, and I was so happy when I got it, and then when I got it and installed it, then it was obsolete. Time to buy something new. But that's still in one of my cases. Yeah, you can still yeah, I've already seen that news. Thank you, Mir. Yeah. I was woke up to it this morning. Yeah, that is it's called Rat Beach not because of rats. It's called Rat Beach because it means Redondo at Torrance, because it's Torrance Beach. But Redondo and Torrance share a lot of police and fire and city utilities in that location. So it's a combination of the two. Yeah, it happens, unfortunately. It's been a long time though that we've had it around here, because generally our water here is a lot cleaner than in Santa Monica proper. It does happen. Oh, no problem. We don't water our lawn for that reason. Steve and I haven't watered our lawn in years because that's the way we conserve water. So here, our backyard stays green, and it's because we have the marine layer from the ocean. So in the morning, it keeps it moist. Yeah, I mean, if everyone did what we did and didn't water their lawns, we'd have a lot more water in the western United States because of it. That's what wastes the most. Yeah, Steve and I, we're going to be re-landscaping, and we're going to be putting in a lot of desert shrubbage and whatnot, just so that we don't have to water that much.
Well, you guys only take baths like every other month, right?
No.
You can go the Arizona route. Just put a bunch of rocks and pebbles in your lawn.
Yeah.
Maybe a cacti.
But yeah, that's the biggest culprit, is especially the sprinkler systems. Like Steve and I, we have a sprinkler system in the yards, both front and back, but we never use it. Our neighbors, we hear the neighbors' sprinklers turn on in the morning, and it'll be kind of nice to have a break from that.
When was the last time you were up in the morning?
I'm usually...
I'm giving you a hard time, Joe.
Oh. I do like getting up later, but I'm often working on my phone in bed. So doing my social networking and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, Don, I like the idea of green shag carpet. It looks neat, but the idea of carpet is... Ugh. All right. That's good. That's good. All right. Cool. Let me do our weekly thing where I scroll down and try to find our outro music. There it is. All right. You need to cover the green felt that you see on pool tables. Like, I've seen enough pool tables outdoors, like miraculously still in one piece after getting rained on.
Yeah, I know people that have carpets outside, like green carpets that live in the desert because they hardly ever get rain. So
All right. There we go. We're good to go.
yay!
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get into it and do it the only way we know how. In 3. Hey everyone, welcome back to Linux Weekly, daily Wednesdays where we sit back, relax, take that midweek break, talk about some of the fun things going on in the world of Linux and open source. I am Vin, that is Jill, and that is you watching us live, maybe listening to us after the fact podcast format. We even have a YouTube channel. We forget about it sometimes. We're also on Odyssey or Library, whatever you want to call it. We're there doing the things. What's going on, Jill? Your power has managed to stay on so far, hasn't it?
Yeah, we've had lots of brownouts. If for those that don't know, here on the Western United States, we're having a lot of issues with overheat and drought and water issues and electricity issues. So I just keep my fingers crossed that my UPS will stay alive as long as it needs to if I have a power outage.
Anything else going on?
Yeah, so I had fun over the Labor Day holiday weekend with my Steve husband. It was nice to have him off, although it was very warm and we couldn't do everything we wanted to do. We did have some nice meals together, and I actually was a little bit sick at the start of it. Been having bad headaches. Yeah, it's from this high pressure, this heat we're having. So, but I'm making it through.
I'm just trying to get another squeak out of this mic arm. I'm disappointed in you, mic arm. It squeaked once.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Like, oh man, come on. Don't do me like that. So, good news, everybody. Threadbooper lives. If you have been tuning into that drama, I had that wonderful thing where you cut the box on and it goes click. Oh, look, it's on. Very noticeable with the power supply because it's got a relay in it. Click, then it immediately went clock. Not something you want to hear. Not something you want to deal with because, well, you're thinking maybe that could be power supply or maybe that could be a billion other things. Like DNS, it's always the power supply. So once I warm booted the box in the studio, I'm like, okay, that's fine. I immediately ordered a power supply and it finally showed up. If you're curious, what I ended up with was everybody's favorite. Here's my words of wisdom. I can't wait to swap out a power supply. Said nobody.
Yes.
In the history
ever. Yeah.
Because while I was doing, when it arrived, I was thinking, hey, look, a new computer component. I'm like, this is the one. This is legitimately the one piece of equipment that nobody ever gets excited about. Like, oh, this is going to suck. And it did.
Yeah.
It absolutely did. I got the EVGA 850B5 bronze, to which I know, I'm waiting. Here it comes. I'm like, you should have got the gold, or possibly the platinum. This box isn't on long enough.
Yeah.
To where it doesn't matter. I would have gotten like the rouge rating.
Or platinum.
Whatever it was, I'm not concerned about efficiency. If this was on 24/7 or something like that, different story. 850 watts, gets the job done. Dual EPS connectors. I was happy to see that. That was good. No complaints. So yeah. That was the problem. I didn't have to spend 2 to 3 weeks of like swapping out RAM and like repasting CPUs and all. Man, if you type that into Google, that's like everybody's like, oh yes, try these other 11 things, and the last thing they say is power supply. The first thing, because you know what it is, you just don't want to admit it. It's going to be the PSU. Go ahead and swap it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I did. I was happy about that, but that was relatively painless that day. I just blocked off the day. System was up and running. I'm like, you know what? Let's live a little. So now the production box is no longer running Debian 11. It's running Debian testing.
Testing.
I thought I was going to say something crazy. No. Yeah, just testing. That went on, I think I clocked it in Discord because it's like, let's just try this out. It's like 16, 17 minutes upgrade, which wasn't too bad. And, you know, I had a couple of things I had to play with to make it work. I was talking to Jill in the pre-show about Debian testing has this fancy thing called GTK4 in it. You might have heard of it, but I was blissfully unaware. Wasn't even thinking about GTK4 until I opened up the calculator to do some maths, and the default was melt your face off bright.
White.
So I had to search and find how to set like prefer dark. Everything's great. All that's working. No problems with it. No big gotchas upgrading currently from 11 to testing. You do the thing, you change your app sources, you let it run, and then you reboot the system, you try to do the update, and you go through your conflicting packages, and you do it the Vin way, where you just highlight a couple of rows and do apt reinstall until it gets down to nothing and you're finished. That's
okay. Yeah.
That's how I've been doing it for the long, long time. But we got some bonus things. Closed captioning is back on live. So if you're watching us on Twitch, we have live closed captioning. It is back. It was kind of important to me to have that for our live shows.
Yeah.
A little bit of housekeeping. Back for Bread, which is our Back for Blood playthrough, continues tomorrow. That's me and Jordan. We have 2 open spots. If you want to know that, reply us in Discord. That's going to be going down at 7 or 7:30 p.m. tomorrow night. It's going to be live. That is recorded. It'll end up on YouTube. The pilot episode is out before we decided to make it a thing. The current episode is up for patrons. It's also in the Discord. If you want to go check that out under the announcement segment, it's going to get a good high def recording, and we're just going to try to, smash up some zombies and die a lot.
Yeah.
Trackmania was fun. We were playing on a slightly updated playlist that I stuck together. We do that on Tuesdays. That's been completely updated. So if you participate, depending if like, hey, I just like arcade racing, or I just like physics racing and stuff like that. Or if you're like me and I'm like, I'm old, I need to keep my hand-eye coordination in good shape. Come check it out. You got a private Trackmania server that is up. We got 14 fresh maps and everything's finalized. And one final bit of information. We started a new show, and we've been waiting for some fantasy stuff to show up, and it's all about time and time management. And we had Sandy on last week, and I'm like, this is a great time to get things started. So we now have a Rings of Power, House of the Dragon spoiler cast for patrons. It is episode 1 is up, and we call it Wizard's Nest.
I like the wizard hat on the poop emoji. It's cute,
so
then.
That is our, that was me after literal dozens of minutes in not Photoshop, not even Geb. I did it in DaVinci Resolve. I'm like,
okay.
And it was really short. I mean, we did the first 2 episodes of Rings of Power and House of the Dragon in like 20 minutes. So that's going to be like the first 10 minutes of the pre super shows, and just kind of chopped off if you want that, because it is just too spoilery. I didn't want to leave it in the pre super shows, and I'm like, avoid these first, because you're not. I know, I'm not. If someone's like, don't listen to this, there's spoilers. I'm like, I'll just not pay attention. I'm like, oh,
yeah.
I was spoiled on it. So there's that. Bunch of fun things, fun times, and we'll be back Friday for a points match in Trackmania. So if you want to come watch or if you want to participate, we'd love to have you. But until then, we got to talk about everybody's favorite desktop. You can't get enough of it. You love it. And we want to help improve it even. We're talking about GNOME. More importantly, we're talking about GNOME Info Collect, which I saw some bad responses to. I saw some people running around. This is data collection. Oh no, they're spying on us. Let's talk about what this program does. It's going to tell them your Linux distro version, your hardware OEM, your model, CPU, Flatpak, FlatHub. Let them know, is that installed? Favorite applications, your GNOME extensions that you got installed, your default browser. You know, nothing too bad. And you can remove this after it's collected your information. Now, I also want to remind everybody, the same mechanism exists on KDE. They do have something comparable, but you have to opt in by running the CLI program and accepting to send the data. This you have to install all on its own. And it's not telemetry. It's not. That was the common thing that I've seen pop up online, like telemetry, spyware, and all that. No. If you're being generous, you can call this an opt-in survey that you have to download the application to install and run intentionally in order for the survey to work. But I want each and every one within the sound of my voice to see if you can get it up and running in WSL, because I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
The only thing I would say, Jill, is you would think this coming from the GNOME Foundation that would have some type of GUI attached to it, right?
Yeah. No, it's a command line. So I easily actually installed the Snap version on Ubuntu, and it worked well. And it's real easy to run. And honestly, I wish all of our desktop managers had this tool and can track this data, and that would lead to all the desktops improving. And this is a really good move for GNOME. I think this is excellent, because I think they're going to find lots of people have GNOME extensions installed. Even I do. I have often dash to dock or dash to panel installed. And a lot of us who do run GNOME also use Flatpak and FlatHub. So this is really valuable information for the crew. And they have been, integrating a lot of features that people use as plugins into GNOME over the last few releases. So this will help them improve it even better, and maybe include some of those utilities that we would like.
I did think not only would you say you used a Snap to get it installed?
I use the Snap, yeah.
It's also available in a copper repo for the Fedora, and I think there's instructions as well for getting up and running an Arch. Oh.
Yeah.
If that's your thing, participate. And if it's always, it's how you react to things. I know when I'm installing, Debian has a survey thing during the install, but it's like default, it's off. You got to click two things to get into it. When it comes to you like that, you're like, all right, fine. Yeah, cool. Since you ask, as opposed to, wait a minute, what? You've just been collecting data. How do I cut that off? Looking at you, Unity. But not Linux Unity, the game engine Unity. More importantly, the games.
Yeah.
But on the topic of Unity.
Yeah, speaking of I was just going to gloss desktop.
Over that. No, nay, I had a reason to.
So this is actually really exciting news. Canonical is recognizing Ubuntu Unity now as an official Ubuntu flavor, starting with the upcoming Ubuntu 22.10 Kinetic Kudo release, which is coming out in late October of this year. And Ubuntu Unity actually was formerly known as the Ubuntu Unity Remix distro. And it came out a few years ago as part of the Ubuntu 20.04 LTS Focal Fossa operating system series, but it was an unofficial flavor. And and this was because of the result of Canonical abandoning its beloved Unity 7 desktop environment more than 5 years ago and moving over to GNOME. And I think this is fantastic. I just want to say congratulations to Rudra Saraswat for the Ubuntu Unity official status. He's been working really hard and improving the Unity 7 desktop every day. It's so much faster now than it used to be. And, he also maintains the Unity 7 desktop environment and recently released Unity 7.6 as the first major release in the past 6 years. So we talked about that here on the show not too long ago. So it's just it's such a nice desktop. It's so smooth and quick. And there were so many progressive elements to Unity that I enjoy. So I'm looking forward to having, an official spin of Ubuntu Unity. It's very exciting. So we're going to see, beta versions updated every day, and it's all good. It's really great news.
It's the perfect desktop for the aspiring Linux hipster.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, man, I was using Unity before it went mainstream. Maybe it's going to come back. Maybe it's going to be the next big thing. I don't know. I played with Unity way back, well before 1.0. And
yeah,
I looked at it. I'm like, that's a thing. That's neat. It exists. I'm more blown away by just the beauty of open source, ladies and gentlemen. Somebody can go, you know what? I really like that thing.
Yeah.
And not stopping there, going, and I'm going to do something about it. That's how you get my respect right there. You're like, I'm going to put in the work, because the idea guy, there's a billion idea guys. Somebody's going to do the perspiration, that other 99%, and bring it back outside of just, I'm doing this for me. No, we're going to get this up and running somewhere else. Now all the way clawing back into something that resembles an official Ubuntu release. So,
yeah.
Good work. And
very, very exciting.
To me, it looks like GNOME 3, I guess, or GNOME 4, whatever GNOME is.
Yeah.
I'm lost when you get me on anything resembling a modern Linux desktop. If it doesn't look like CDE or like even KDE, I'm not throwing anybody under the bus. I'm throwing me under the bus here. Like, how does this work? And all I do is I go for a terminal. Once I get a terminal, I'm like, fine, okay, I can probably suss it out. So, good work. I want to do a little bit of digging around and see what type of support Unity is going to have, because I think that originally ran on Canonical's attempt at their own display server, Mir, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Is that going to be up and running on Wayland at some point? Does it currently work on Wayland? I don't know. These are questions that I would like some answers to, but it's my fault because I haven't looked into them. But yeah, there's your feel-good story for this week.
Yeah, this is awesome. Yeah, there's so many, Ven, to your point, is one of the reasons that GNOME looks like Unity is because they borrowed a lot of the, features that people loved from Unity to GNOME. So that makes sense.
So they were like equally as confusing.
Yeah.
For a long time, with Unity, for a long time, I held out with like, maybe this makes perfect sense on a touch device. And I finally plugged in one of my yellow touch screens with Unity back in the day. I'm like, nope, this still doesn't make any type of sense, but people loved it. And this
it's
makes
great
me
on
happy.
the netbooks and small displays. It's really good for that.
I think that's great. That is wonderful. But I buried the real feel-good story of this week.
No.
All about Microsoft and how much it loves a particular penguin.
Yes.
Your long national nightmare is over, ladies and gentlemen. Teams on Linux is getting an upgrade. It is, even though it's been a dumpster fire since its release in 2019, after 3 years of not really trying, Microsoft, they've decided to scrap the project. Let's just get rid of it in favor of, give me that drum roll. No drums. Progressive web apps, ladies and gentlemen, because that will fix all of your problems. Now it's an extra layer of nope because you're going to be forced to use Edge or Chromium. I'm not even joking around because that's right. Firefox doesn't know what a progressive web app is. Admittedly, that's a Firefox problem, if we're going to be honest. But you know what? No one really wanted extra features, Microsoft. They wanted basic features that worked. And here we are. I have been very blessed, you would say, never to have used Teams, but I'm surrounded by people that are forced to use Teams. Nothing but complaints the entire time. And we're not talking about complainy people that complain about it. And they're like, no, this thing's busted. It barely functions, and it functions different on different browsers, on different computers. Like, they have a strategy to make it work kind of right so they can interact with their employers and groups. Making this a progressive web app, you know what? If it fixes it, okay. But I don't think it's going to fix it. And also, on Linux, you're making something that doesn't work with Firefox. That seems like you didn't think your clever plan all the way through.
Yeah, I know. I was actually really also saddened to hear this. But on the positive note, I do realize it will be better, honestly, for the Linux community, because it will allow Microsoft to update the Linux version of Teams quickly and in conjunction with the Windows version. So there is that. And also the new progressive web app will support background blur, custom backgrounds, reactions, and a couple other desktop app-like features that were only supported on the Windows version. Like, yeah.
Right after you install Edge.
Who cares? So I didn't care about that too much. But yeah, we just want an app that works. And if this helps Microsoft achieve that, that's nice. But they really need to make it work on Firefox too.
Again, I got to go back to that. That's a Firefox problem.
Yeah.
This isn't like, nobody at Mozilla went, oh, look at us. We don't, like, they know about that. But my whole thing is like making it a web app. Okay, fine. Maybe it's a better love story than like a, 1.5 gigabyte Electron wrapped piece of note. But it remains to be seen. I don't have much faith in this. And again, you're not going to be able to use it in Firefox. That's going to irritate some people because I know some people that I will have nothing Chromium related. It better work in Chromium, right? Or people are going to get real mad. However, I've had more than one person recommend Teams for Linux, the unofficial Microsoft Teams for Linux client to me. And it is regularly updated. It is one piece. There'll be a link to this in the show notes. Like, there was a release yesterday, all right? So Ismael Martinez, he maintains that, and this gets the job done, apparently, and it's available as an app image, RPM dev snap, and just your tar.gz. So I would suggest maybe giving that a look right after you visited patreon.com/LinuxGamecast. That's a great way to support the show. We got a bunch of membership levels up to and including. We got chair links, death notes, sea monsters. They all mean something. They're like different ranks with different reward tiers all the way up to corporate overlord. That's right. You could be a corporate overload. I thought that was fun. I was talking about that on the show Saturday. I had to fight because we're adults and Patreon didn't want me to do like a random like off number. It wanted to be a nice round thing, but I'm like, no, this thing needs to equal 350 at the end of the month.
Yeah.
Because it needs to be, 350. We finally made it work. But that's also an option. You can head over to linuxgamecast.com. We got a support button. We got merch, PayPal. We got studio wish zones, all the stuff. Jill's got an Amazon wish list. If you want to pick Jill up something, send her a note with something that blinks with RGB and whatever that is, a mechanical keyboard display.
Yeah, I added a few things there.
Holder. Yeah. All right.
Because I have several hundred keyboards and I like to show them off.
And our favorite one to visit, the Kingston 240, which is $24.99.
Yeah, it did go down in price. It's still not down to like $15.99 that it once was. But
man, I was like, I bought a couple of these.
Yeah.
I have one for our studio. There's our disappointing Supermicro motherboard that is not green. Drives, buttons, audio box. I'm just like, I'm price watching these Gen 2 Threadrippers because here's the thing. I really want to believe at some point they're going to go on fire sale.
Ah, yes.
Somebody clears out inventory. And of course, in case of emergency, let's buy like a big corporate business. I was about to buy that thing the other day. So you want to talk about, you think Jordan's going to be grumpy for the next couple of months because he's doing like caloric restriction part of his diet? Man, I would be more grumpy than normal for like 8 months after that, after having spent $3,000 on a Lenovo. I don't have anything against Lenovo, but it's like getting a pre-built box though, isn't it?
Yeah, I know.
Like, man, that's not cool. Like, I say that, but I have like pre-built boxes down here from like Dell and HP, but they're not important boxes.
Yeah, they're not the ones you're using for your main system all the time. Yeah.
Oh, no, I probably have an image, but it's out of order. But we do thank you for your support. Come hang out with us in Discord the other 6 days of the week. That is now back linked everything. Our bots are back up and working as of this
Yay.
morning. So if you want to talk in Twitch or IRC or live channel in Discord, all of that's linked together so you can pop in and chat with each other. We have a couple other channels in our Discord for our Twitch subs and our patrons, and that's access to like our Trekmania stuff. We have announcements, early access to videos and things like that. Pick a level. If you can, that's brilliant. We'd still love you to come hang out with us and do the things that we do, share the show, all the other fun stuff that you're supposed to do that I'm probably forgetting about because I'm horrible at marketing. But it keeps us loud, live, and independent, commercial free, and we're not beholden to anyone but you, which is a horrible idea. Let's keep doing it.
Yeah.
So,
we love you all.
what do we have this week for a slice of pie? Radio
let's
controls.
See.
Yeah.
But not the kind of radio you think of. Not a traditional boombox like from the 80s. So this is the iNap Malinka. It's a Raspberry Pi radio controller, which doubles as a handheld gaming rig. Yeah, so the creator, Leon, explains that the driving motivation for creating this project stemmed from a need to control his head crab robot remotely.
This is a real problem faced by modern people. You need to control your head crab.
Yeah. See, initially, I was thinking of like a little robot that sits in your hair and helps get rid of dandruff.
No,
But
this
no.
is a generous one. It brings dandruff from other people to you.
Yeah, very true. So yeah, it uses an NRF24L01 radio module. And it involves a custom PCB that he made that uses a mounted Raspberry Pi Zero module. And he actually uses the RetroPie OS with it, but it could easily work with Laka or Raspberry Pi OS. And it's like a mini, Nintendo Switch or a mini Steam Deck. It spans 160 millimeter across, supports 2 analog joysticks, a series of buttons, and has an LCD touchscreen. And it's got 3D printable files that you can download and print with, and he's got all the instructions and all the tools that he used on his GitHub and on Reddit. So it's well documented. You could build this, probably in a day or two, and it's really cool device. It's
I
really
can think
cool.
of just one extra tool that he needs. Just one. Hear me out. A cheap hot air flow station, because I'm looking at that connector where he's done, just the drag soldering and like, ooh, chewed up and like all that wonderful plastic smell coming out of that.
Yeah, that would be a thing.
Anytime I'm dealing with surface mounts, I get a reasonably cheap hot air station. It was like $200. I get like the cheap one on Amazon. It gets the job done if you're patient with it. But hey, if you want to do the drag soldering, go for it. There's a great guide that will link to the GitHub project, and I think it's kind of neat. It's a portable gaming handheld that has an antenna sticking out of it, but kind of like Arthurian. I'm like, tell me more about this remote control head crab. That's what I spent all of my time looking for. I'm like, where's the project on the remote control head crab? I'm staying tuned, but there it is in action. And you can do some gaming on it. It's got a nice little, there's the case. Nice 3D printed.
Very beautiful.
Looks good. Works at.
I think it's really cool that he made his own PCB too. That's impressive. Because he did all that research and development for this, now it's just going to make it easier for someone else to do it.
You can go play with it. 100%. Yeah. See, when I see stuff like this, I just get a big smile because, that works. Also, do not get this anywhere near the TSA. Just because of the antenna connector. They're not going to have any of that. I'm like, nope.
Yeah, and the 3D printable files also include a version without the radio antenna hole. So you can just use it as a handheld gaming system.
Oh, yeah, but don't do that. Keep it, screw the antenna in, go downtown, go hang out, play with your antenna hanging out of your head.
You can make 2 of them and have the other it looks like you guys are both 2 people are playing games together over the air,
That way you can get the local and the federal police to show up.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for this week's Weekly Daily Wednesdays. If you have any information on our remote control head crab project, please send it into the show. You can do that over at linuxgamecast.com. Hit the contact button. Leave a comment on the YouTube video or the Patreon post. We'll get to it. All right, everyone. Have a great rest of your week. We're going to roll some credits to thank you as soon as I click on that.
Oh, and thank you, Arthur. And yeah, Unity 7 actually ran on Compiz. And Unity 8 was supposed to be run on Mir. I knew Mir was worked in there somewhere. So thank you, Arthur. And
I do want to thank Bodhi for the 5-month resub along with Skittles.
Oh, yeah.
In 7 months.
Yeah, Bodhi. Nice. Oh, awesome. Thank you, executive producers and our producers and our advisor, our Theron, our Chicago Kicks people, our sea monsters, all our wonderful death notes, and all our chairlings. We have a ton of them, and I can't read it quick enough to go through them.
Hey, everyone. It was beautiful. We'll see you next week.
Love you all. There it is. Okay, Steve Husband found the head crab robot. Yeah, Ben, so that's why I said, well, the only thing I can think of is a robot that sits on your head and removes dandruff. Aw.
What is that supposed to be, Steve? I need some help. I see a power connector, possibly. You got a link for that? You got a URL? We need to know more, Steven.
Is that a crab speaker? I see a RCA or a phono jack there. See, is it stereo or is that a
See,
power?
it needs to be a
power?
tactical assault crab eater. That way we can call it tacky.
Tactical assault crab. Yeah, that must be the power plug. One of those little round, narrow ones.
I don't know. I'm kind of curious what Steve came up with for that. Knowing Steve, there's no telling. Maybe it's a record player. All right. Well, we got through that. RC crab.
There is a really cute crab Bluetooth speaker that you can get off AliExpress, and it's really cute. It's kind of it's two front what do you call it? I'm dead. It's mandibles. It's two front hands can hold up the cell phone, and then the belly has the speaker. It's really cute.
You know what? Let's see how much. 21. Okay.
Okay, so this is. Oh, you actually found the robot, honey.
Jill is shocked and amazed that you Googled.
Yeah. I thought that was just one of his fun random pictures he found.
For $21, it's viable because the only real world application for this is to have it under the couch at your friend's house when you're over and have it run out.
Yeah.
And they're going to step on it and crush it. But $21. Yeah.
That's pretty cool, actually. It's funny because I think I've heard the term crab robot before, and I think it's those little tiny baby ones, but I'm not sure. Well, let me Google it. I did look earlier. Let's see. Head crab robot. Okay. Well, the Half-Life 2 crabs come a result in the Google search. Okay. Okay, that makes sense there. So maybe he has a Half-Life 2 head crab robot. We didn't think of that.
That's what I was talking about the entire time.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I think about when I hear head crab.
Okay.
I think about, what's his name? Maurice. From
It was
Half-Life
funny.
2.
Yeah.
What was the pet head crab?
Oh, yeah. I have a I have a plushie of it. Ah. Oh, that's cute, Arthur. Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not finding anything for like a head crab remote control.
Yeah.
Like Google, you have Lefeld.
Yeah. I guess maybe try a crab robot and see if we find a name brand for one, and then maybe if they have the subcategory of head crab. But you know what, Ven, you may have nailed it. It may be a Half-Life head crab because it was a gaming console too as well.
Lamar. Okay. I would like to inform and update every single person listening to the stream. Mr. Alert has regained his ability to hear music. I do not know how long he's been plagued by this problem, but it has been remedied.
Oh yeah. Well, I'll make sure on the tweet to boop the creator, and he would let us know if he watches it, which they often do. But yeah, the crab robot that I was thinking of is actually one of the smallest robots ever made, and that's what I was thinking of because I had seen someone use a Raspberry Pi with one of those little tiny baby robots. And so if that was true, that's the world's smallest robot is a crab. And then they have ones that go in your body too, that are like kind of like crab shaped.
You might be thinking about nano machines.
Yeah.
That were like vaguely crab shaped.
Mm-hmm. Do. Tiny crab robots are so small they can walk on top of a U.S. penny.
Yes, and let us not forget the crab people.
Yeah.
Taste like crab, talk like people.
Aww. That was a great episode.
Like, when did that episode air? 20 years ago.
Yeah. It's been a while since I've seen that reference, too.
It's kind of weird. It used to be like when you were thinking about like, oh, the old cartoons, like South Park is an old person's cartoon.
Yeah.
Because I was in secondary school when that show aired.
Oh, yeah, Steve Husband. That's nice. I remember that painting. Tiny people, giant crab.
It's a kaiju crab. You get a crab suit.
And Beavis and Butthead is supposed to come back.
I think it already is. I know they did the movie.
I need to watch it.
I never had anything against Beavis and Butthead. I mean, I've seen the like first movie they did in the 90s.
Yeah.
But like, I never got like hooked on the series back in the day. Like, I watched it a couple of times, but it wasn't I never went crazy about it.
Yeah. I didn't watch all of them. I probably watched about half of them, though, because it would be on at midnight when I was a young adult. On MTV or VH1 or whatever it was, Adult Swim.
Adult Swim's been around for a long time, too, when you think about it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
20 years. I don't know when Adult Swim started. I think in the 2000s.
Yeah, I'm forgetting because they didn't. It used to not be called Adult Swim. They were still running the really cool, obscure cartoons, and yeah,
Those
I'm
were,
forgetting what it used to be.
like Space Ghost Coast to Coast.
Yeah, Space Ghost. Yeah, that's what it came out of. That whole.
2002.
So yeah, I was out of college then, so I was a young adult still.
All right, that is put together. And that's good. Okay. Just going there checking my mails.
Cult of the Lamb.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a fun name. I haven't played the game, but I do have it in my wish list. Yeah, what would I... Cool. It looks like a good game, definitely. I like the games that have the cards in it, too.
Let's see. What would I call my cult? EFF's already taken. So,
The Jillings. I like that mirror. I think I like the Jillings. The cult of the Jilling. That sounds wrong.
So another story this week that they're going to officially announce that Stadium's going to die.
Yeah.
Google
Officially.
Stadia, yeah. Like they're officially, I mean, internally, apparently the documents have been passed around in Google, like it's been demoted to not being a thing, like the people that were leading up
Yeah.
Stadia who remained have been reassigned a different task. Like, oh, okay. I mean, no one's surprised about this. But, hey, who knows? Who knows? I did see that there's I think Android 13 release for my Samsung tablet. I might try that out this afternoon.
Nice.
Might. I don't know. Not broke, don't fix. You got to balance that out. You're like, or how easy is it to restore? That's another thing. Back up your stuff, people.
Always. And make 3 backups of everything. Not 2, but 3.
And store them all on the same thumb drive.
No.
Backups are a weird thing. Most people, I'm going to say the vast majority of people do not back up anything until it bites them that first time.
Yeah,
Even
everyone learns at some point.
even then, people will power through that. They're like, well, it's only going to happen that one time.
10-year-old SD cards.
Yeah? I don't know. Like, long as Google doesn't close my account, I'll be okay.
Yeah, I know. That's like... that's the thing. That's my cloud backup system.
That is. I cut them a check every month.
Same here.
And I got a couple of little, like, VPSs floating around the internet. But
I use Box also, and then I back up on flash drives regularly, and I also have I will turn on my server and sometimes back up like 3 or 4 machines in here.
most of my backup, like, Threadbooper's backed up. There's a second NVMe. One of the three NVMEs is in there, and it just does a deja dupe. Because there's nothing critical in this box, though. Mm-hmm. Like, that is just there, basically. My home directory's backed up. So, if I need to nuke and pave it, done.
Done, yeah.
Just copy that back over. But yeah, having a timed, what do you call it? Like a versioned backup is a brilliant thing.
It's so nice, yeah.
Like, oh no, I messed that thing up last week when I changed the thing. Do I have that one original file from that one? No, I do not. Yeah, I do. Hang on.
Yay.
There it is. Let me drag you out. A time machine, whatever they call it. I think, what did Apple call it originally? Was it time machine?
Time machine, yeah.
That's it can eat up a lot of drive space, but man, that's a good thing.
Yeah, some distros just automatically include it because you're using ButterFS, so they automatically include.
Yeah, if you're running ButterFS, you can have a versioning file system. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really nice. I have it on my Gorilla Linux box, and I love it. It's actually what's neat is it's included in GNOME. So as soon as you start the computer, it actually you can pick which backup you want from the list. Right in Grub. It's really convenient.
Micro through it. This is a very important thing. Test your backups, which I did the other day. Fortunately, I did because I just out of curiosity. The Trackmania server, it was like I wanted to set up an easy way to just back up the entire thing. So I'd set up a system to use DD over SSH. Because, I mean, it's a small image. I mean, it's like a 24 gig image, something like that.
Okay.
Which it completed. It checked itself, and just out of curiosity, I'm like, I better check that. And I went to mount the image, and it didn't mount. I was like, okay. Let's go back and see what I messed up. And I found what I messed up. I'm like, right. Got it. So I was able to fix it. But yeah, test your backups. Have something resembling a backup. I mean, most of my stuff's in the cloud. I freely embrace that. That's just how I am. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. Imagine like saying that, like, oh, no worries, this will save me. Whoops. And I didn't have any reliance on that image. It was backed up 2 other ways. Oh, no, 1 other way. Plus the home folder was always backed up. Are you hearing music again, Mr. Alert?
Yeah. Oh, poor Ellen. He got overheated.
It's been very temperate here. It's only been getting into, like, it's just been cracking 30. Which comparatively feels very cool, but it's normally like 36 or 37.
Yeah.
But we're in the downturn. We're heading into fall, which basically means, it's going to be about 28, and it's just going to rain sometimes for like 3 or 4 days straight.
Oh, yeah. It's that time of year.
That's fine. All right, I got everything put together, packaged up, and gotta get set up for tomorrow. If anybody wants to pop in for that, we're going to be doing Back for Brad. I think we're going to be on episode 3 is where we're at. Should be fun. Should be entertaining.
Yeah.
Foxy joined us last week.
Yeah, he said he wasn't probably going to be joining this week, I saw.
Which we're looking forward to having bots anyway, because those bots are so broken and op.
Oh, okay.
The first one we played, we just had this bot that had infinite Molotov cocktails. And once we learned that it was just going to start slinging Molotovs every second when it got around the horde, we learned to get away from it so it didn't light us on fire. It was awesome.
Hi, Funkytron. You were asking. I gotta read your comment. Oh, Mir, I'm sorry. He said it's 44 there. It's 28 here today.
No, like if you're having a problem with Steam and it's file system related, you have something tragically wrong on your system.
Yeah, because I've never had problems with any. I've used multiple.
Yeah, Threadbooper, like no joke. The box in the studio right now, Steam is installed on ext4, but the game drive that it is reading for storage is XFS because it's one of the write drives. I know back in the day, Steam had some issues with ButterFS.
It did, but I haven't noticed that recently.
No.
Yeah, they fixed that.
I'm just saying, if you got a problem with Steam in 2022, this is not going to be your file system. If you're using NTFS, you can just go play with the other kids using NTFS. Like, you guys over there, you have a different table. All right.
Yeah, I am mostly running ext4, but I do have ButterFS and I do have XFS and many other different file formats and never had a problem with Steam.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's just chasing dead end right there. Like, whatever that problem is, it's not file system related.
Yeah, Funkytron, that is a good, I think checking your logs be a good thing.
RiserFS was a good file system for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Sure was.
Back in the ext3 days. Man, I remember ext2 before we had journaling. I mean, because it was a journaling file
you
system.
remember? Oh my gosh.
I remember a power outage bricking a box is what I remember. I distinctly remember that it crushed a file system that I could not recover.
Yeah. ext2, those were the days. I remember I would always set up, whenever I boot my Debian boxes with the ext2, I would send up the hard drive checker, the format checker, to run every time because it would have issues.
I was with Red Hat back in that. I still remember that exact box. Power breaker got flipped in the building I was working at, and nobody decided to tell anybody because, oh no, it's not a big deal, right? Just crushed everything I was working on right then.
Oh,
gone. Total day lost. Mm-hmm. But now, you power something down. I mean, it's safe. You can have a reasonable expectation to power, just hold your power button down and just force something off, that it's going to come back up. That's a good feel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mir Knoppix was great. Yeah, I remember.
Knoppix was a fascination, being able to boot from a CD.
It was.
Or DVD absolutely. Later on. That's really neat.
I still have my original box. I actually installed Knoppix on.
I think we got a command for that, don't we?
I love all the distros, and I use them all because I have hundreds of computers. But the one mostly I'm using right now for my broadcasting rig is Ubuntu. That's mostly what I'm using for this computer, although I have,
you know what? Ubuntu's
I have
not
Pop! OS
too bad.
back there. I have Garuda Linux over there. So I have Fedora, a Fedora box. I live in all the worlds.
All of those are close enough to the correct distribution to run, which is Debian, which is what I run.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have Debian on all my older machines and one of my newer ones in the hall.
You got your Arch, you got Fedora, you got SUSE, then you got Debian, then you got all of Debian's babies.
Yeah. I've got
your Ubuntu's, your pops, and your mints, and everything attached to that.
I've got OpenSUSE on my Blade servers here. I just fired them up for a project I was doing for my students. That was nice. It'd been a while since I fired it up.
Yeah, well, Funky, I mean, I suggest Arch for new users. Like, and people laugh at me, and I'm like, no, it is a distribution that is great for new users. Like, you give an Arch user a Debian box, they'll look at you with a blank stare, like, ah.
Yeah. No, Manjaro is really great, and I really love Garuda too, and yeah, there's a lot of really good Arch distros.
But usually the biggest thing I run into is when people
awesome.
are trying to, you know, they're asking me, you know, like, how do I get this audio thing working? And this is like that little bit of knowledge where you get that sideways stare from everyone. It's like, well, I'm going to need you to recompile a kernel or compile a kernel. Like, what? Can't I just download? No. You're going to have to build it.
That's awesome, Funkytron. Yeah, Void is great. Yeah, Void, that's own scratch-built distro.
Now, the one person, if you want to get just super awesome, and I know this person can back up what they talk about, is Katana. Katana Steel and Shadow Realm. Katana daily drives Gentoo.
Mm-hmm. He does.
Well, I say Arch is good, especially for new users, is because you have the Arch wiki available. And it can walk you through it. Which is good. I mean, you need that resource there. And I mean, you don't have the tools in hand to like translate between what should I do here to that. And you're not going to be digging through mailing lists and things.
Yeah, Alan used to use Gentoo.
Yeah, the only people that use OpenSUSE on a desktop are serial killers. You don't have to feel bad about that. Like,
so Funkytron for excuse me, I had a choking. I was choking.
Try drinking something.
I think I drank too much and choked. That's what happened.
That means you need to drink more. You gotta drink the choke out.
So Funkytron, what I kind of tell people is because, you know, as podcasters, we're constantly, you know, I'm constantly testing distros and everything. For me, it doesn't. For herself. Yeah, it doesn't. The base doesn't matter. For me, what's more important are the window managers and or the desktop managers. And I usually don't use the defaults, but sometimes I do. Like my go-to are all the classics because I've been using Linux since the beginning, and before that Unix.
What are you using right now?
Window Maker.
I don't even know that that's supposed to be mirror.
So yeah, I got Window Maker now. I've used, oh gosh, I have so many in my list. I sometimes have XFCE, I sometimes have Mate, sometimes GNOME, sometimes KDE, sometimes even Rat Poison. Sometimes the Awesome Desktop. But for doing the shows, I'm usually on Window Maker or Fluxbox or Enlightenment. I love all the lightweight ones. Window managers. X-Window managers.
You know what? Be careful when you install that, Alan, because it will jack up all of your GGK settings. I got curious too. I'm like, I want to play around with the CDE continuation, and I probably spent 45 minutes getting everything back working correctly on XFCE. Yeah, to what Joe was saying, like when it comes to distributions, it's all the same stuff. After a certain point, like that's a very new way of looking at it. I'm like, what's better? What does what? And I've been saying for the 10 years of doing this, you can give me a copy of Hannah Montana Linux, and by the end of the afternoon, it's going to be doing everything I needed to do. It's the prepackaged. It's like, what package manager do you like the best? What works best for you? What has the most options? But like, again, when it gets to the point of like, oh, I need this program, you know what I'm going to do? All right, let's just clone the Git repo, pull in the dependencies and build it, and we're done. Like, there's no, like, is it available? Like, that never even crosses your mind at a certain point. You won't have to worry about that. But here's why distros matter, Arthurian, because it helps us have teams. Like, my distribution's better than your distribution. I know. Then I walk in and I say, children, there's not enough of us to be fighting. Then people get angry at me because they know I'm right.
Yeah, I still run Slackware too. Still have my Slackware box. Slackware 15, woohoo! I remember how excited I was. You remember that episode? I think it was me and Ven, because Pedro was out that day when I was so excited about Slackware, and we were talking about it. PKG, baby.
All right, that is like one thing I had to do when I upgraded to stable this week was I had to build 5.18 because Debian, in its infinite wisdom, does not offer a low latency preempt kernel. So I had to compile that. But it puts me in a weird spot because 5.18 is as far in the future as I go, and the problem is 5.18 is EOL right now, which is into life. And we don't have like the latest LTS kernel right now is 5.15, which is fine, but I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead with 5.18. I can't go beyond 5.18 right now because the binary drivers for my Blackmagic hardware in this box.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm kind of stuck on it. I was like, I don't want to build 5.18. I went ahead and did it. That's what we're running right now. Which they've changed the way it, let me see. Uname what is it called now? SMP preempt dynamic. Yeah. Which is a little bit different because like normally it would just say SMP preempt low latency, which is kind of interesting. But yeah, I mean, it builds the same. I didn't have to, it's not a hard RT like Jackbox, so I didn't have to patch it with anything.
Nice. Not ELO. I can't talk. Oh, bye, Alex. Thank you for joining us. You took your lunch break was watching LWW from System 76.
Well, everyone, I think that's going to wind us down. I got to go make that into a show. So, do we get any closing words before we bounce out of here? What do you got going on the rest of the day, Jill?
Well, one of the things I wanted to do is go for a walk, but it's a little too warm to do that. So I'll do some exercise in the house.
Shots are good. All right, that's good. Yeah, I'm going to do this. Then I'm going to debate like a couple of things I need to run together. I got to rework our Back for Brad template for tomorrow. But outside of that, hopefully I won't be buying anything PC related. Everything will be nice and smooth. And we don't have to worry about PSUs for a while.
Yeah. No, that's a good one, Vin. I put that in a box. It's one I don't run a lot, so I didn't get the gold. I got the bronze, but they're fine.
Well, I have two of them now, so.
Okay, cool.
We have a backup.
Good. Yes.
Which, part of me, fortunately, they were like 66% off. That's why I got two of the same brand. Normally, if I'm buying PSUs, I'll buy from different vendors if I'm buying a backup.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. All right, beautiful people. I will be back tomorrow with Jordan at 7. Let me check. I'm sitting right here in front of the thing.
Aw. Thank you, Funkytron. Yeah, a lot of these penguins, a lot of them were given to me by my patrons here on LWW. And just collecting over the years. I have hundreds, literally. And I've got several thousand stickers from all the Linux conventions I've been to, which are many, many, many.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Love you all.